What's poppin', y'all? It's looking like our guy Ye is just facing some relentless pressure and allegations. This one, man, it's funny because going into this more recent one, which is by Niykee, which if you guys are unfamiliar with Niykee, she blew up on World Star, kind of like in an older era of the internet, early 2010s. I think it was 2013 she blew up. 2014 maximum. It was 2013, I think. And it was the Love Sosa. She was playing the guitar. She was doing this acoustic remix or acoustic cover of Chief Keef. And she really, really took off. They're like, hey, this is a chick that looks a certain way that's playing the guitar for a hip hop song. It was all the viral components came together. She blew up. She tried to have a music career, which didn't pan out too well. So let's give her credit where credit is due. She dropped this EP and she has a gold song, the Bad Intentions song. I don't know if she released this independently, then got signed, or she got signed and released this. But at one point, she was signed to some sort of record deal. So she released that song. That song is gold. It was initially just her own song, but they decided to put the Migos on there for some reason, which I don't know. I thought it was better with just her. And she dropped like this EP, and then it felt like she faded after that because this time after that, I think she got dropped by a record label by 2016-ish. And then she was rocking this NBK, Natural Born Killers thing, and she was trying to fund a tour. So she was trying to go on tour. She was trying to pre-fund it, I think like a Kickstarter or something for a tour. And she got a lot of flack for that and hate. It was somewhat of a controversy. Back then, I didn't really know too much, but looking back at it now, I think people gave her a little bit too much hate. It's understandable. You're going to need upfront costs to finance a tour. Maybe she didn't have that money at the time. Who knows? After that, she pretty much just faded out of existence. She didn't really have any big features. She wasn't featured on anybody's stuff. Like I said, her biggest feature was the Migos and OG Parker on that album or on that remix to the song Bad Intentions. And the weird thing about that, or not the weird thing, is I believe Migos, who were signed to QC at the time, had a deal with... No, I think they had a deal with 300. This is 2013, 2014 when that song dropped, or 2016. Because I know they had a deal with Capitol after, but I don't know when the timeline is. It would make sense if they were with Capitol at that point because, hey, she was on Capitol. They probably worked that out. But regardless, her music career was not successful. She had a gold single, but other than that, it didn't pan out. She didn't release much music after, and she kind of just faded. However, she's coming out to give her own take. One thing that I learned, though, is this chick, Lauren, if you didn't see the previous video I did on the lawsuit that this chick brought on Ye, Lauren Pichata, pretty sure that's how I pronounce her name. She put out a lawsuit on Ye saying a bunch of crazy stuff. Well, the worst thing is that Ye is allegedly a cuck, which is, oh my God, what a horrifying thing to hear, man. I hope it's not true. So that lawsuit, so she was friends and apparently managed by this girl, Lauren. Niykee, when she blew up, she was 18, 19, around there. She tells this story. I'm not going to play the whole clip for you guys. It's a really, really long clip. And I'm sure you guys want me to save your time. That's what you're here for, right? Yes, I'm not going to misconstrue her words. I'm going to be completely fair. And before listening to this, I wanted to hate. I don't know why. Like, sometimes you just get this feeling in your heart, or not in your heart, let's just say this feeling in your gut, and you want to hate. You're like, man, I want to call her a liar. But after listening to it, same thing with the Lauren Pichata thing. Like, after listening to the Lauren Pichata lawsuit, I said, yo, I believe a lot of this. And it's not that I'm saying that what she is saying is true. It's just that it sounds believable. There are certain things when someone says them, you're like, dog, no way. Like, for example, the Tory Lanez thing, like I said, Tory Lanez pulling out the gun and like saying dance and then shooting it, right? I just can't believe that. Even though he got found guilty, we don't have any footage of that. I would need to see footage and audio of that actually happening for me to say, wow, that's real. Certain things that are just unbelievable. Like Jack Harlow. If you told me Jack Harlow just backhanded Sexy Red, right? I'm like, come on, dude, that didn't happen. Now, if you tell me DaBaby did that, then I would say, yeah, of course. So there are certain things that are believable and unbelievable. That doesn't mean they're necessarily true or not. It's just how we perceive them at first glance. So with her, I was like, okay, we'll see what she has to say. The story that she puts out, she was managed by this girl, Lauren, which means that this girl, Lauren, was in the industry for a while since, because we got to circle back. This is 2014. First question, this chick Lauren was doing OF. So clearly she didn't make it work in the music industry. So she was doing OF before Ye hired her, which is what, 2021, 2022? So that's 7-8 years later, she couldn't hack it in the industry. Otherwise, she wouldn't be doing OnlyFans. That's one thing. Niykee Heaton starts to tell this story where she says, hey, Ye wanted to invite her to the studio, this and that. And I kind of feel bad for Niykee Heaton in a sense, because when she blew up, she wasn't really trying to thirst trap. Like, people will say in this video specifically, they're like, man, she's got her chest out and she's doing this and that. I think that changed when she got into the industry, because when she was just playing music, it was just like a normal chick. And, you know, people found her attractive, and that is what it is. But initially, I think she believed like, hey, I'm portraying myself as a musician. I'm talented. I can sing. I can play guitar. And people want to meet me for my talents. And is that a bit naive? I would say yes and no. No, because if this was a guy, they wouldn't have to deal with that problem. Unless it was Diddy or somebody that moved. If it was maybe Birdman from what we've heard, or maybe some sus executives. But for the most part, by working with another artist, a guy knows, he's like, okay, this guy messes with my music and we're here to work. But with a chick, it's kind of like you don't really know, which is the tough spot of being a woman in music, especially in hip hop, because the idea that these male rappers listen to female rappers, I promise you, they do not listen to female rappers. They think they're trash. And yeah, they're not listening to them. So it's a difficult situation to know if somebody really wants to work with you or they're just, you know, trying to smash. And that's the case with Niykee Heaton here. So, and you can't just say no or say, oh, hey, by the way, this is like really professional. I'm not trying to do any of that, because that might have never been their intention in the first place. And now, you know, you might upset them. Like the leverage here is all in Ye's favor. So Ye, she gets hit up by Ye. She goes with her manager. First weird thing is she says, hey, if someone gives you a drink, pretend to drink it. Or drink it anyway, or something like that, her manager. Niykee Heaton admits she's 19. So her manager is already, I get what her manager was saying, but this doesn't look good on her manager, because she's not 21 and she's telling her to drink anyway. And these guys are giving her drinks, which is already, whoa. But respect to her, she didn't fall under the peer pressure. She just pretended to drink it. She didn't drink it. And she claims she went into the studio. It was Ye, Diddy, Ye's cousin, and some other like engineer, some other guy. And she said there were like 9 studio, quote, she said specifically they were studio hoes, which she was one of them. She just didn't know that. And I think because she looked at herself like, hey, I'm a musician, but it's not about how you look at yourself. It's about how these other guys are looking at you. And in this case, you were just one of the studio hosts. However, this gets a little bit weird because she says, oh, I felt like the things were spiked or something. Her friend goes off, and Niykee Heaton said she was underdressed in terms of like she just had baggy clothing. Like she wasn't dressed for like these quote unquote studio hoes. So at some point these studio hoes leave, and then she says Ye and Diddy try to like get with her, and her manager left. Right? Her manager left the situation, and she was like, they were very aggressive with her, and she's saying they essayed her. I don't know to what capacity. She said they ripped off their shirt, but she said she had a hoodie on. I'm not going to be too much of a stickler on the details. Some people are saying, oh, shirt versus hoodie. I'm not lawyering this up, dog. This was how many years ago? She's recollecting a memory. We're going to move with it. She was surprised that these other dudes that were in the studio just turned away when she was asking them for help or like mouthing to them for help. I'm not surprised by this at all. Hear me out. Is what they did right? Absolutely not. It was wrong. However, we got to keep in mind, this is not Diddy today. This was Diddy 10 years ago. And these people knew Diddy. So Diddy 10 years ago, this guy was blowing up cars. So I think the guy's looking at it like, damn, I can, I guess, like step up. And this was probably not their first instance seeing, I can step up and help. And maybe my car is the next one to get blown up. And I'm in the car. That's the way I'm looking at it. So I think that's why they turned their heads, not justifying what they were doing. However, we will circle back to another point, which I don't think anyone has brought up yet. So she says she's able to escape. Like she pushed towards them or something, and they like jumped back, and she got out of there, and she left the industry. And I do think something happened to her because she started to change up her face a lot. She got a bunch of plastic surgery. She actually just faded behind the scenes, or not behind the scenes. She just left the industry as a whole. She also said that Ye was inspired by the aesthetic that her and this friend Lauren had, which was shapewear, which makes sense. The early Yeezy seasons, they dressed them like Niykee Heaton. However, the question that I have is, she says she was essayed by Diddy and Ye. Now, if Ye was moving with Diddy, oh man, if Ye was at the freak-offs, oh my goodness. This situation sounds relatively believable. Not for me. I don't know. I just don't think Ye would straight up take the box. I don't see that. That doesn't seem that believable for me. But things didn't go all the way there. The spiking drinks thing. Some people say, oh, maybe she was paranoid. I'm willing to disagree with that, because if we recall other lawsuits, cases brought against Diddy, they were saying that Diddy told people to make sure that all the champagne had some sort of a substance in it. Or I don't know what it was, MDMA, something. They were like, yo, make sure like Diddy's alcohol hit different than regular alcohol. So I'm inclined to believe that part. The problem is, Niykee Heaton said she was upset that nobody believed her friend Lauren. But these other guys, right? Ye's cousin, this person that works with Diddy, they're incentivized to look the other way. Like I said, it's wrong, yes. But their incentives are not aligned with Niykee Heaton, her well-being, her success whatsoever. Their best interest is to just look the other way and deal with whatever Ye and Diddy are doing. Which, logically, we can make sense of this, right? Let's follow where I'm going with this. Lauren, however, her friend, she was her manager. Not only that, she was a close friend of hers. So Lauren's best interest is Nicki's safety, as well as like her loyalty to Niykee Heaton. 100% she told her this story. So if Niykee Heaton told Lauren this story, this happened in what, 2015, 2016? Who knows? Many, many, many years ago. How does it look if Lauren is willing to take a job with Ye in 2021, 2022, the guy that SA'd her friend, allegedly SA'd her friend, Niykee Heaton, who she was managing many years ago? I think that's even crazier than what those guys did, right? Because she heard the story, she was working with her, the whole like, oh yeah, you know, we're both women thing. They've both probably experienced a situation like this before in that industry. Yet she ends up working with the guy that did that. And the reason why I find that weird is because if Niykee Heaton was upset by that, she wouldn't have came out and defended this chick with this story. So this is where I look at her like, yo, this is where things start to fall apart for me. Because if I'm Niykee Heaton, I'm like, screw this Lauren chick. She abandoned me. Not in the situation. She was like in the bathroom for that story. But she started working for this guy, Ye, who I believe, and I'm talking from the perspective of Niykee Heaton, like tried to take advantage of me and traumatized me with this moment that made me leave the music industry. So this is where it doesn't add up. And Niykee Heaton's like, hey, I'm not making any money from this. I'm not proposing a lawsuit. I'm out of this. I just wanted to share the story. That's one detail that I would actually like to hear from her. I just want to hear the reasoning for that. Does she hold any animosity towards Lauren for going and working with Ye? Because I wouldn't say that's complicit, but it is just like justifying. And if that girl Lauren already knew how Ye moved before with the Niykee Heaton thing, then she definitely can't be surprised when he was moving that way when he hired her. Now, is that to justify Ye moving the way that he did? Yo, hell nah. But hey, there's a reason why I stay in the basement. There's just certain people in certain places, they move a certain way. And I don't know if they move a certain way because they're in that position or if they got to that position because they moved in a certain way. But yeah, I'm inclined to believe some of what Niykee Heaton was talking about, but that one detail with the relationship with Lauren and her working with Ye after this alleged incident is what really has the sirens going off. Nothing else. The other stuff seems, to me, believable. Like, yeah, did he spike in drinks? Does that sound anything out of character? I don't think you're paranoid to think that. But let me know what you guys think in the comments. Like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell if you enjoyed. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram. Thank you for watching. Peace.